What is up, guys? Proud to bring you another weekly Rust update video. Spent a lot of time on this one, and I am joined today by my friends Jafar and Sander. Sander is the creator of the music you're hearing in this video, and I use a lot of his music in my videos. He's a very talented individual, and he's a huge fan of Rust, been playing for a very long time. Jafar is the same. He's been playing Rust for a very long time, but he's an up-and-coming Rust YouTuber, and if you want to check out either Sander's music or Jafar's channel, the links will be in the description below. So let's get right into it, guys. This week in Rust, you will not be seeing an update hitting the game. I am, however, showing you a glimpse of what you can hope to see next week when the XP system goes live. Still scheduled to hit July the 7th, and what we were able to test out this week was item ownership and how that affects experience and resources gathered and things of that nature. So what does item ownership mean? Essentially, it means that everything that's created or gathered by a player has an ID assigned to that player so that they can track how that's used and give the player some type of compensation for that in terms of experience. It doesn't mean if you own something no one else can use it, and it doesn't mean that if you gather resources with an item that is a split resource yield. So we can see here from wood that was harvested by a hatchet that Boner and Sweatpants crafted for me. I used the hatchet and he gained 50% of the resources and I gained 50% of the resources. In terms of the dividend, or the divide rather, with the experience, it's not as though he would receive automatically resources as inventory. It's rather a case when the resources are used, eventually they will give experience to both players. I believe how that's trending, that's not fully fleshed out at this time. What is fleshed out though is the way experience is divvied up when tools are used. So if you craft a tool and you give it to a player, you will get 20% back from that tool. The player will gain 80% of the experience. In terms of how this felt in the game, it made it feel as though teamwork was more cohesive. You saw immediate gratification and value for how you were interacting with your fellow teammates, and it seemed to be very fair in awarding players experience and not forcing them to do a particular role. For instance, the footage you're watching here, the players were using tools that were crafted by myself, which allowed me the ability to have an Overwatch position to guard them and to still get some experience back and not to have to be forced to gather resources. So it's very interesting to see how this will be divided. Campfires seem to be a little OP right now, as well as eating food, but that's something that will be tightened up. Anytime you kill animals in the game now, hit barrels, gather resources, you'll be gaining experience along the way, and you will be leveling up. You guys might have noticed some very interesting leveling sounds and graphics in the first part of this video. When you level up, currently a big star will appear in the middle of your screen, and you'll hear some 8-bit sounds. My guess is that these are placeholder sounds. It could be that they would be staying. It's certainly their game and they'll develop it how they want, but it doesn't really fit in line with the aesthetic of Rust, hearing the 8-bit sounds. And my guess is it's just placeholder till Andre can get on that and make some really cool leveling up sounds. What do you guys think would be cool for a level up sound in Rust? Some type of gong, or some metal pipes banging, or animals howling, or what do you guys think? Leave a comment below, offer some feedback on what you think about the current sounds and what you think would sound a little more Rustified, if you will. So guys, moving us on into the next phase, we are going to take a look at items that are thrown. So that's a little bit different, and we can show you something other than the footage from the devlog this time because it's actually implemented into the pre-release branch. What this means is that items will now be able to be held prior to throwing them, so you can aim them a bit better. And if you don't want to throw them, you don't have to do so. You can stop from that animation and it won't automatically throw. If you do want to release it, you hit the other mouse button and it will fly in its destination. In addition, the gunplay is on its way to being tightened up. So the changes that you're going to be noticing are that CQB battle will be more of a hit scan method, which means it's going to hit whatever's in front of it, and longer range skirmishes will be based off of more of a projectile algorithm. And there's much more information on that in the devlog. I can't really do justice to explaining that, so please read the devlog to hear more information about that, guys. But as you can see, the new throwing mechanics are working beautifully. It was really fun to watch this, really fun to play around with it. Certain items like the pickaxe have more weight to it, so they're harder to aim. And that's something that you guys definitely want to be mindful of when you're using this new system. At first I wasn't sure how important it would be to the game, but after playing with it, it really will change up PvP encounters a lot and make them more visceral. What you're looking at right now is some footage that was on Reddit that the devs posted of some glimpses at those new forest biomes, not biomes, but new forests that we might be seeing with prettier trees and less clutter that's needless, looking very beautiful. We even saw a glimpse of some fireflies that may or may not be a real thing, but would love to see that in the game in the future. That would really add to the atmosphere. The double barrel shotgun's right around the corner, guys. We're now seeing it modeled in the 3D space. We can spin around, we can zoom in on it. Please check out the dev blog to take a look at this in depth. I love the copper tubing, the copper piping there, the wooden handle with the aged wood, looks like driftwood, the screwdriver on the end of it, and the springs below. We saw some progression on bone armor that will soon hopefully be entering the game, and that was based off some fan art that was on Reddit. We also took a look at the heavy armor that's progressing nicely, and it has different component pieces so you can see all the work that goes into doing this. The airfield's going to be getting some love and looking a hell of a lot more beautiful. Alright guys, really hope you enjoyed this week's Rust Update video. We're going to leave you with a picture that's a tweet that Holmesy posted on his Twitter account of possible rideable horses in the future. Been waiting a long time for that one. Really hope to see it. Peace guys.